Let's start now fourth application of Lagrange's equation of motion, which is Etude's machine. This is new for you. So Etude's machine is an example of conservative system with holonomic constraint. Now, what is this system consist of? It consists of two masses m1 and m2, and these masses are tied together by means of a light inextensible. Inextensible means what? The length of that wire is constant, so it don't get extend due to these masses. Okay, when we attach these masses to that string, there is no change in this length. That means this length will be constant in the throughout system, and these two masses m1 and m2 are tied or attached to this inextensible rope which having length L, and the rope passes over a pulley, and that pulley and that rope, there is no friction in those two systems. So the two masses hang on two sides of the pulley. So how the picture looks like, let me take this as a reference line. So here, if this is the center and this circular part represent the pulley, so over this pulley there will be a light inextensible string. So through this string there are two masses which are attached on two sides of this pulley. So let me draw. Now here there is another mass. So let's say this is m1 and this mass is m2. So length of this extensible string, total length is L, and let's say this distance from the center of pulley is x. Then what will be this distance? This will be L minus x, since total length is L. It is obvious. So this is the picture of Etude's machine. Now in this machine there is clearly only one independent variable L, because this length independent variable x. So this is only the variable in this system, means there will be only one generalized coordinate. That means we will get only one Lagrange's equation of motion, and that generalized coordinate is x, since length of this string is constant. Now potential energy with reference of this point of suspension or suspension for these two masses will be potential energy. It is in general mgh. Now this is the reference line and it is below the reference line, so this is downward direction. Therefore this height or this part, length part, we will take as a negative, because this is the negative direction according to coordinate system. So this is negative x-axis if we consider, and above this there is positive x-axis. So here potential energy will consist of two terms due to two masses. First is m1 and second is m2. So for m1 it will be minus m1g, what is height x, and for m2 it will be minus m2g, and the distance or the height of that m2 from the point of suspension is L minus x. So this is the potential energy for this system. And what about kinetic energy? The kinetic energy will also consist of two terms for two masses, that is in general it is half m. Now here only one coordinate, so x dot square. Now here there are two masses, so this kinetic energy will be half m1. For m1 the position is x and velocity will be x dot and its square, plus for this m2 this will represent the position. Therefore this will be half m2 and derivative of it L dot minus x dot square. Now here if you observe this term, this derivative of L dot, that is L dot, will be 0 since the length is not changing, so its derivative with respect to time will be 0. So if we substitute it over here, we will get t as half m1 x dot square plus half m2 again x dot square. So if I took this x dot common, I will get half m1 plus m2 into x dot square. So this is the kinetic energy and this is what the potential energy term. Now from this we can find Lagrangian. So Lagrangian is T minus V. Therefore we will get half m1 plus m2 into x dot square. Now minus of V, and each term in V is negative. Again this negative means it will get positive, and I will get m1gx plus m2g L minus x. So this is the Lagrangian for Atwood's machine or this system. Now here, since we have only one generalized coordinate, Lagrange's equation of motion will be d by dt of dou L upon dou, and that coordinate is q. Here q dot, that is x dot minus dou L upon dou x. This will be equal to 0. Now let's find these two terms very quickly. Now I expect that you are expert in finding the derivative. It should be expected from you. So I will find those derivatives very quickly. So dou L upon dou x dot means derivative of L with respect to x dot will be, here in these two terms no x dot, derivative will be 0, and derivative of this will be 2x dot into this 1 by 2 means only m1 plus m2 into x dot, and for this dou L upon dou x, now here there will be two terms which includes x. So for this term derivative will be 0 since no x. Now here derivative will be m1g, and here minus m2g since only x is there, derivative of x is 1 for both the terms. So these are the derivative. Now if we substitute values of this derivative, before substituting I will take here g common, then we can write here m1 minus m2 into g as a common. So now if we substitute this in Lagrange's equation of motion, we will get here d by dt of this term m1 plus m2 into x dot minus this term, that is m1 minus m2 into g. This will be equal to 0, and this derivative will be x double dot. We will take this negative term on RHS, so that m1 plus m2 into derivative of x dot is x double dot equals to, this will become plus m1 minus m2 into g, and from this I can write x double dot is equals to m1 minus m2 into g upon m1 plus m2. So this is the elementary equation and equation of Lagrange's equation of motion for the Atwood's machine. Now we will take the next example, which is example 5 or application number 5. It is a bead sliding on uniformly rotating wire, and this system is in a force-free region. So what will be the picture? Let's say that a wire is straight and rotating about fixed z-axis, and I am taking that z-axis over here. So this is our z-axis, and along this z-axis wire is rotating, and this is perpendicular to xy plane. So let me draw that plane. Let's say this is y and this is the x. So in this xy plane, a bead, that is some mass, that mass is sliding on a rotating wire. Means I have to draw here a wire. So I will draw that wire in two-dimensional form so that you can imagine a bead which is sliding on that wire. So I have drawn this wire little bit thick, and on this wire there is a mass or a bead which is sliding from this origin O. Now let's say this makes an angle theta with the x-axis, and if we join this part, this will be the xy plane. So on this xy plane there is the wire which is rotating on the plane, and on that wire a mass or a bead is sliding. So this is a bead. Now in this system, let's say now this length will be here x and this will be y. So here this position of bead is given by r, suppose. So the transformation equations related to Cartesian and polar coordinate that we have already discussed in MMP. This is same picture. So from this we can find x and y related to theta in terms of r and theta. Means the relation between x, r and theta is given by x is equals to r cos theta and y is equals to r sin theta. Now it is expected that you should know how these terms comes to be. Now here, since wire is rotating with angular velocity, let's say omega, and angle of rotation in time t is calculated as, means if omega is angular velocity, so velocity is distance upon time. Let's say time is given by small t. So angular velocity will be angular displacement and it is given by theta. So the angular velocity omega is theta upon t, that is distance upon time. That distance is angular, therefore velocity is angular velocity. So the wire which is rotating, that rotating angle or angle of rotation theta is given by omega t. In book they have directly written this, so I have explained how it comes to be. Now here, if I substitute this theta over here, I will get x is equals to r cos omega t and y is equals to r sin omega t. Now to find the kinetic energy, now here there is a force free region. So if it is a force free region, it is obvious that potential will be zero. Why? Because force is conservative. If we consider force as a conservative, negative gradient of the potential energy is force, and force is zero. Since it is force free region, F is equal to 0. Therefore we can say that potential of this system is 0. Therefore we will only have here kinetic energy, and let's find that kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is given by half m x dot square plus y dot square. Now we will need to find x dots and y dot. So from this x dot will be, now here there are two things which are varying here, r and t. With respect to time, the wire is rotating, changing its position, as well as r will also change. So I have to take this derivative by using product rule. So first I will take derivative of r, which is r dot, keeping cos omega t constant, plus now we will keep r constant, and derivative of cos is minus sine. Derivative of cos is minus sine, so here we will get minus sine omega t, and derivative of omega t with respect to t will be omega. So I have multiplied by this omega. In book it is taken as positive please make this correction. There is one more correction. I will tell you where it is. So this is one correction, and now here this is x dot. Similarly, we will find y dot by using product rule again. So here r dot sin omega t as it is. Now here plus we will keep r constant. Derivative of sine is cos omega t into derivative of omega t is omega. So these are x dot and y dot. Now let's quickly substitute these values in the kinetic energy. We will get T is equals to half m. Now its square is there. So if we square this term, we will get here. Now x dot square will be r square cos omega t square minus 2 r dot cos omega t into r omega sin omega t plus b square, that is r square omega square sin square omega t. This is value of x square plus y square will be here there is r dot square sin square omega t plus 2 r dot sin omega t r omega cos omega t plus b square, that is r square omega square cos square omega t. In book they have taken this positive and they have directly written the square of x dot and y dot and its addition as these two terms and these two terms. So indirectly they have written those steps. So if you observe these two terms, these are equal and in opposite sign, so this will get cancelled. Now from these two terms we will take r square omega square common, and from these two terms we will take r dot square common, so that we will get here half m r dot square common, that is sin square omega t plus cos square omega t, plus here r square omega square common, sin square omega t plus cos square omega t. Now we can use here mathematical identity sin square theta plus cos square theta as a 1. So these both terms will become 1. We will get here half m r dot square plus r square omega square. So in book here by printing mistake they have written x dot square. So this is one more mistake. This is first mistake and this is second mistake in your textbook. So you have to make those corrections in your textbook. Now you have to note that T is not homogeneous. This kinetic energy is not homogeneous quadratic function of velocities. So the Lagrangian equation will be, now since we have only here the generalized coordinate is r only, because if you observe this, omega is now constant. So according to Lagrange's equation of motion, d by dt of dou L upon dou r dot minus dou L upon dou r equals to 0. But since v is also 0, L is t minus v, so L equals to t. This implies me that d by dt of dou t upon dou r dot minus dou t upon dou r equal to 0. Let's find these two terms. Dou t upon dou r dot will be, here derivative of this will be 1 by 2 into 2m r dot, and for this it is 0. So this derivative is m r dot, and the dou t upon dou r, its derivative will be here half m, derivative of r to r square will be 2r into omega. So 2 get cancelled. We get here m r omega. Now, sorry, omega square is there. It's my mistake. Make this correction. Now if we substitute this both value in Lagrange's equation of motion, we will get d by dt of dou t upon dou r dot minus dou t upon dou r. This will be equal to 0. and if we substitute their values, we will get d by dt of mr dot minus d by dt upon dr. So this is m r omega square equals to 0, and this implies me derivative of mr dot with respect to time will be mr double dot minus mr omega square equals to 0. If we take m common and if we take it on RHS, we will get here r double dot minus r omega square is equal to 0, and from this I can write r double dot as r omega square. So this is the Lagrange's equation of motion, which is well known result that bead moves outward due to the centripetal force acceleration, and this is a simple example of time dependent constraint. So these are few applications. We have studied all 5 applications of Lagrange's equation of motion. In next lecture, we will discuss cyclic coordinates as well as Hamilton's equation of motion.